Hello, YouTube. We are back for another episode regarding Detective Comics number 33. Before we get going with it, I want to say thank you for watching. I also want to thank everyone who voted for me for the 2024 Comic Book Community Awards. Thank you. It is greatly appreciated. Those who have not voted for me, I would ask that you do the same if you enjoy my content and if you learn a few things watching it. Also, I am going to leave a link in the description in order for you just to hit the link, go to the Comic Book Community Awards site, and vote for Jerry the Jitterbug for the best cleaning, restoration, pressing category. There's a lot of good channels this year, so we're going to have a difficult time going and winning, but I think we can do it if we all stick together, and those of you who watch my channel and support it. So I'm also leaving some links in Amazon for a few of my tools, my mini spatula, my bone, and the blue LED light that I used in past uploads. If you want to purchase it, use my link, please, because I do get a small commission. So what are we going to do? I'm back. I'm well rested. I was away. I was in Disney. I hope that you enjoyed a few of the shorts that I actually published when I was there, showing my stay. And it was just a great, relaxing time. Now, one thing that I have to say is that there was not a large attendance in the parks. It was, to be honest, pretty dead. And I was quite shocked. But I think I know why, because I think people are upset with the politics that Disney unfortunately plays in relation to a few of the social issues. They just want it where it is entertaining, at least the diehard Disney fans, not everyone, but a majority of them. And I had a lot of conversations with some people who work at the parks for many years, and they said the same thing to me. As well, I think it's just very expensive. Disney has to claw back some of the prices. It's very expensive for people to spend that money to go to a theme park. It's just very expensive. So if you're listening, Disney, try to make money other ways with movies and things like that, not on the backs of the people who go and visit your parks and stay at your hotels. It's just a fortune to go to Magic Kingdom or to get a park hopper pass. It's very expensive. Okay, so enough babbling about Disney. Let's talk about this book. So what do we got here? We have the interior, and it's nicely flattened out for a week between my two heavy pieces of glass. So what is the next step that we want to do? Well, what I want to do is I want to start working on each page, starting with the centerfold, going all the way to the first wrap. So what I want to do first is let's move over my heavy glass. I slide it over just like this on my workbench. And then let's get my mat set up so we can talk a little bit in more detail what we are going to be doing. So what I would like to do is I want to take a look at the centerfold more in detail. Let's flip it over. So we have a decision to make. The decision is, what are we going to do in relation to, of course, the centerfold that I just mentioned? And I want to try to work on this book where we're not going to go crazy, loco, leaf casting every single page. Because no matter how thin I apply the pulp, for those who want to leaf cast, this is a very important aspect of doing it. it adds on thickness to the book. And each page you leaf cast, in particular, if you want to leaf cast right here, the spine of the centerfold, it's going to add some thickness. And then each page, it's a lot. And at that juncture, the book becomes substantially thicker. But I'm looking at this centerfold right now, and just by looking at it, I can tell I think we're going to have to leaf cast this. And I really didn't want to, but I think it's in the cards for this book, or at least for this centerfold. And the reason why is because this is the anchor of the book. I know I always say this, the anchor of the book. But right here, we do not have any paper pulp right here. And that's a problem. If you look where the bottom staple goes, there's nothing there. The paper is missing. And there is rust migration around. So I don't like keeping this rust migration. I may scrape this out. We'll see. I don't know yet. We're gonna clean the page first, but this unfortunately has to be leaf casted. So what are we gonna do? What are the steps? What are the next steps that we're going to take to achieve this goal? Well, as with all my projects, we are going to do a little dry cleaning. Now, with old golden age books like this, I don't like to use erasers on the interiors. I don't like to use Absorine right here. And this is very good. I use this very often. And I buy this from Amazon. In fact, I'm going to leave the link in the description if you want to pick this up off of Amazon. This is a good product. But this is not good, in my opinion, for interior pages, because when you use it for interior pages, you run the risk of ripping it, because the interior pages are not as robust as the cover. So we're going to use cotton rounds. I think we get these at Costco. I steal them from my wife and my daughter, and they get a big box from Costco, and they're like, "Where are the cotton rounds?" And I sit there and I look down and I don't say anything, because I'm a thief of cotton rounds. So right here I can see some dirt on the yellow. So just I want to gently see if I can pick it up with the cotton rounds and just rub it gently going in one direction. I like to start from the spine, and then I like to move to the exterior. And then we're just picking up some surface dirt, because we're going to do a water bath for this interior, each page. And we're also going to do a deacidification, and I have a different method that we're going to be using, and I'll show you in a second how we're going to do it. So again, just rubbing gently like this. I just want to pick up the surface dirt that may be on here. And also you have to understand, you are lifting some inks as well, but that's surface dirt. We know this is an old book, and right down here there's a lot of dirt as well. But the cotton round, in my opinion, works very well, and it just takes up the surface dirt, easy peasy, and you do not run the risk of basically ripping the book. Now right here we have some colors, some darkness, and I'm just gently taking my eraser, and I'm seeing right now some dirt's coming up, but I don't think that is in fact dirt. It's more of a printer's mark, or printing marks from back in the factory. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to gently rub it on the back or the centerfold and see, and some dirt is coming up just like this, very nicely. okay? And just rub so we can get some of the surface dirt off. And look, there's plenty of dirt there. Let's do one more time, and then we're gonna be done with that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna shift to some aqueous cleaning of this, because what I wanna do is I wanna do some aqueous cleaning, and I wanna do some deacidification of this centerfold so we can get a color base. And what does that mean, Jerry, a color base? Well, we're gonna make the pulp, and I'm gonna make pulps in massive quantities because the pulp I make is gonna be used for the whole book. And this is going to have to be leaf casted as indicated. But if we look at the second wrap that comes in, this one we don't have to leaf cast. So I'm very happy about that. That's very good that we do not have to leaf cast that. And it's going to turn out very nice. And if we can do a page that we don't have to leaf cast, that is going to be the MO of this project. So right here, what I have is a piece of holly text. We're going to take the holly text, we're going to put it down, and then I am going to rest the interior centerfold onto the holly text. Next, what we're going to do is I am going to take a second piece of holly text, just like this, and I am going to lay it on top, okay? And we're going to protect it. And what we're going to use, as mentioned, is calcium carbonate. Now, this is a different approach to deacidification. In the past, what I would use is calcium hydroxide. But calcium carbonate you can also use for deacidification. I purchased this from Talus. Now, the reason why I'm going to use calcium carbonate, it's less aggressive in relation to possible color loss that occurs. Now, I am a member of the comic book conservation community on Facebook, and I do see from time to time people using calcium hydroxide, and they're saying, oh, I have color loss on the cover, and it happens. If you are too aggressive, or you keep the page in the solution for too long, or removing the Rimet or holly text, it's very dangerous if you don't do it correctly, because the downside is color loss. So to circumvent the possibility of having these problems, I am using calcium carbonate. In fact, and I do believe I am right with this one after having some conversations, I believe Kenny Sanderson, this is what he uses as well, calcium carbonate, for his deacidification of the pages and covers that he does. But what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 baths, and the first bath is going to be straight warm water. We're not using any calcium carbonate. That will be for the second application. So let's hang out. Let me get the tub ready, and let's get the water ready, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, we're back, and I have my tub set up right here. And what we're gonna do now is I'm just gonna put one of my grates down. And we all know where I get my grates from. If you watch my channel, we get it from Home Depot in the lighting section. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put down the centerfold on the grate. Then I'm gonna rest it just like this. And I'm gonna pour the water in, just like this. And what this is a gallon of warm tap water, which I don't mind using. And what's good about my system in the home is that it is a tankless hot water heater. So sometimes you have to be careful, and if you have a tank water heater, then sometimes rust develops And if you use the hot water from your tap, you may have an issue. That's just my thoughts on the matter. And you always want it to run too if you're going to be using your water from your tap. So right here, we're just pouring the gallon of water in very delicately, and we're going to let the page soak nicely for a while. And then what I like to do is, sometimes I don't like the way the top piece of the Hollytex is laying on top of the Centerfold, so I'll take it off just like this. And what we'll do is I'll put another grate like that so I can rest the piece of Hollytex on the grate, and then I'll just put it on the floor. So we're gonna let this soak, and we're gonna let it float just like this, and it will penetrate the water. Sometimes if you slowly push it down just like this, that's fine. And I'm gonna let this soak for a good half an hour or so. And you wanna push it like this, just like I'm doing, to get the air out from the bottom of the sheet, okay? Just like that. And in fact, sometimes what I like to do is I like to flip it around as well. So I'll take the piece of Hollytex that I just took off, and then we'll flip it around like this. Ready? Just like this, and lay it down nice and flat so we get the other side now in the water. And I'll tell you right now, just by doing this, I can see that the discolorization, the tanning, if you want to call it for lack of a better word, is just seeping out of the interior page or the centerfold. And water alone, guys, is good enough sometimes just to make a page appear a lot better. Now, if we lift this up, I don't even know if the camera's going to take it, but you're seeing this in real time, and the amount of colorization that is lifting, it's amazing. But you also have to understand that by soaking a sheet, by soaking a wrap, there's colors that are coming off from the ink as well. It's something that you really can't avoid, but it's fine. And it will work out very well for the book, for the covers, because these pages are not super supple. They are acidic. I can tell you that they are brittle to an extent, slightly brittle. So by introducing the water, it's going to become more supple. It's going to be better for the page in addition to cleaning it. Okay, guys? So what we're going to do is we're going to let this soak for half an hour or so. And in the meantime, I will get my calcium carbonate solution ready. We're going to do the same thing for the soaking, and I'm going to use the same 1 gallon container, plastic container that I use, Rubbermaid. This is, you can use any container, but it's nice. It has markings on it so you know how much liquid you are using. So I think we did enough for this upload, and we will continue next upload showing the discolorization of the water, and then how we are going to mix our calcium carbonate for the deacidification of the centerfold. And we're going to get rolling, guys, because I want this book, my goal is to have this book ready, complete by Thanksgiving, or before Thanksgiving, sometime in the beginning of November. So we have September, October. So it's going to take a few months to get this book done, but it's going to be well worth it. So thank you, appreciate your support, and stay tuned.